Most people think health changes when life gets dramatic. A new diet, a harder workout, a total reset on Monday. That is usually where people lose, because the body does not change most from extreme moments. It changes from what you repeat every day, and that is why this matters. In this video, I'm going to show you the kind of small Japanese habits that quietly change your baseline, how stressed you feel, how heavy or light your body feels, how well you digest food, and how easily your mind comes down at night. Some of them look almost too simple to matter. That is exactly why people ignore them. Habit number 1 sounds almost ridiculous what you do in the first minute after you wake up. In many Japanese routines, one of the smallest grounding gestures is simply bringing the hands together for a moment. That's it, not a full ritual, not a big spiritual performance, just palms together, one slow breath, and a pause before the day starts pulling at you. Why does that matter? Because most people begin the day in reaction mode. Phone, noise, rush, thoughts everywhere. But one small physical gesture can interrupt that. Hands together, one breath. Attention comes inward. The body gets one signal: we are not in emergency mode yet. That matters more than people think, because the first 5 minutes of your morning often decide the tone of your stress for the next several hours. And this is only the first habit. Later, I'll show you why 5 minutes of morning cleaning can clear mental noise, why eating to 80% full changes energy and cravings, and why the evening bath matters more than most supplements people spend money on. This is not about becoming extreme. It is about building a body that feels calmer, lighter, and easier to live in through things small enough to actually repeat. If the first habit calms your system, the second one wakes it up, and it does it fast. You may feel warmer and more alert in 60 seconds before caffeine even touches your lips. That is why this habit stands out. Before the shower, take a dry towel and rub your skin for a minute or two. Arms, shoulders, chest, legs, back if you can reach it. Nothing aggressive, just light friction. That is it. It sounds almost too simple to matter, which is exactly why most people skip it. But a lot of people notice the same thing pretty quickly. They feel more awake, more physically present, and less stuck in that groggy, half-asleep state they usually drag through the first part of the morning. And that matters, because most mornings in the US start the same way: alarm, bathroom, hot water, coffee rush. This habit gives your body a different signal, not panic we're late. More like wake-up circulation is on, the day is starting. You are not shocking your system. You are nudging it awake. That is a big difference. And keep it gentle. Skip it if you have very sensitive skin or irritation. This is not about toughness. It is about awareness and a cleaner transition into the day. So now you have the first 2 habits stacked: one moment of calm, then one small physical wake-up. That alone can change the tone of your morning more than people expect. And once that's locked in, habit 3 is what keeps your energy stable after breakfast. And once your morning has a little calm and a little physical wake-up, the next habit changes something most people completely ignore: what your brain is taking in all day. Because here is the truth: a lot of people are not tired because they are doing too much. They are tired because they are absorbing too much. Too much screen light, too much noise, too many headlines, too many alerts before the day has even properly started. If your first input of the day is chaos, don't be surprised your body feels chaotic. That is why this next Japanese habit matters. In Japan, there's a simple idea behind Shinrin-yoku: not doing more, but letting your nervous system absorb something cleaner. Natural light, fresh air, green space, less noise. It is not about nature being magic. It is about removing artificial intensity long enough for your brain to reset. And that changes more than people expect. A lot of people eat breakfast, then immediately drown their mind in speed. Messages, feeds, news, podcasts, notifications, somebody else's urgency. Try the opposite. Step outside for 5 to 10 minutes. No phone in your hand, no scrolling, no multitasking, just light air and a little space around your thoughts. Most people notice something quickly when they do this. Their mind feels less crowded, their body feels less jumpy, and the rest of the morning feels easier to carry. That is the shift. Not more stimulation, better input. Because once your nervous system gets something cleaner, first focus gets easier, stress feels lower, and your energy stops swinging so hard. And if this is the habit you know your mornings need most, comment 1 below. And once you stop flooding your brain with chaos, first thing in the morning, the next habit gets even more practical. Change what your body feels under your feet. That sounds small. It is not. A lot of Americans spend the entire day insulated from the ground. Shoes outside, shoes inside, slippers on top of that. always one more layer between the body and the space it is living in. But in Japan, one quiet rule changes that outside stays outside. Shoes come off at the door, and that does more than keep the floor clean. It creates a transition. You are no longer in street mode, no longer in rush mode, no longer carrying the outside world all the way through your house. That shift matters. Because the second your shoes come off and your feet touch the floor, your body gets a different kind of information. Cooler surface, more texture, more feedback, less armor. You slow down a little. You place your steps more deliberately. You feel where your body is, instead of rushing through the room half aware. That is the power of this habit. Not some mystical grounding speech, just a very real change in sensory input. And when the home starts feeling physically different from the outside world, your nervous system gets the message faster. We are safe enough to come down now. That is why this habit works so well with the last one. First, you give your brain cleaner input. Then you give your body a cleaner boundary. Less noise, less speed, less carryover from the outside. Most people notice something simple when they try this. Home starts feeling more like recovery and less like an extension of the day they are trying to escape. And once that shift happens, the next habit becomes even more powerful because it takes that calmer home and clears the visual noise inside it too. And once home starts feeling like a real boundary, instead of just another place to collapse, the next habit becomes brutally useful. Clear the visual noise before it starts draining you. Because clutter is not just messy. It is mental friction, a chair with clothes on it, a counter crowded with random stuff, a sink already asking for attention before breakfast. That is enough. Your brain sees those things even when you are not actively thinking about them. It reads them as unfinished signals, and unfinished signals quietly tax your attention. So before the day has even started, part of your focus is already being spent. That is why this Japanese habit works so well. 5 minutes of morning cleaning. Not a deep clean, not a full reset. Just a short, deliberate pass through one area. Wipe one surface. Reset one zone. Put away what does not belong. Clear one visual hotspot. Use this rule. One surface, one zone. 5 minutes. Stop. That is what makes it sustainable. A lot of people fail because they turn cleaning into a giant emotional project. They either do everything or nothing. This habit avoids that trap. It keeps the action small enough to repeat, but useful enough to change the room fast. And the effect is real. A clear counter feels lighter, a reset entry feels calmer. A clean sink stops pulling at your brain every time you walk past it. You are not chasing perfection, you are lowering cognitive drag. That is the win. First, your home feels calmer under your feet. Now it feels calmer in your eyes. And when the room stops asking for attention from every angle, your attention becomes easier to aim where you actually want it. That is what makes this habit so powerful. Small effort, immediate relief, repeatable every morning. And once that is in place, the next shift moves from the room to the body because the way you eat decides whether that calm stays steady or disappears by midday. And once your room stops draining you, the next habit moves straight into the body. Stop eating until you feel full. Start stopping when you feel satisfied. That sounds like a tiny difference. It is not. Because a lot of people do not stop eating when their body has had enough. They stop when the meal is finished, when the plate is empty, when they feel heavy, when comfortable has already turned into sluggish. That is where this Japanese habit hits so hard. In Okinawa, there is a phrase often linked to long-term health, harahachibu, eat, until you are about 80% full. Not starving, not dieting, not obsessing, just not pushing the body all the way to overload. That changes more than people expect. When you stop a little earlier, digestion feels lighter. Energy stays steadier. That post-meal crash hits less hard. And your body gets better at noticing early fullness instead of waiting for discomfort to tell you the truth. That is the real training. Most people are not bad at food. They are just late to their own signals. So build one small pause into the meal. Halfway through, slow down. Put the fork down. Take one breath. Ask one question. Am I still hungry, or am I just still eating? That question alone can change a lot, because satisfaction is quieter than stuffing yourself. You have to catch it earlier. And this habit works even better when the meal itself helps you slow down. Smaller portions, warmer food, a little more variety, less rush. That is where calm starts staying in the body, instead of disappearing by noon. So here is your move. At one meal today, stop at I could eat more but I don't need to. That is the zone. And if this is the habit you know your body needs most, comment 1 below. And once you stop eating past the point your body actually needs, the next habit changes how that meal feels inside your body. Stop making every meal cold, because a lot of people do not just overeat, they eat in a way that keeps the body unsettled. Iced coffee first thing, cold drinks with every meal. A rushed lunch that feels sharp, fast, and hard on the system. Then the same people wonder why their energy crashes, their stomach feels off, or their body never fully settles. This is where the Japanese pattern gets quieter and smarter. Lean toward warm meals more often. Soup, rice, steamed vegetables, grilled fish, warm tea. Not because every cold food is bad, because warmth tends to land differently. A warm meal usually slows the pace down. It feels gentler, more grounding, less like you are throwing fuel into a machine, and more like you are actually feeding a body. That matters more than people think, because the body often responds better when the meal feels easier to receive. And when the body feels calmer, digestion usually feels calmer too. That is the shift. Not eat perfectly. Eat in a way that feels steadier. And this habit gets even stronger with the next move. Smaller portions, more variety. Not one giant plate. A few smaller pieces. Different textures, different nutrients. A meal that feels complete without feeling excessive. That is why this way of eating works so well. You are not chasing fullness. You are building meals that help your body feel satisfied, lighter, and more stable after you eat, not heavier, duller, or ready for a crash. And that is the real point of everything you just heard. Japanese health is not built on one miracle habit. It is built on small things done often enough that the body starts trusting them. That is the shift. A calmer morning, a lighter home, a steadier meal, a slower evening, less overload, more regulation. That is what changes a body over time. Not one perfect week, not one extreme plan, not one burst of motivation that disappears by Friday. Because most people do not fail because they are weak. They fail because they keep choosing plans they cannot repeat. That is the line to remember. Your body does not care about the version of you that gets inspired once in a while. It adapts to the version of you it keeps meeting every day. So stop thinking in terms of total life overhauls. Think in terms of baseline. What is the version of health your body can actually live in? What habit can it trust enough to expect tomorrow? What small action can you repeat until it stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like your normal life? That is where real change begins. Not when you try to become perfect, when you become repeatable. So do not leave this video thinking, that was interesting. Leave with one decision. Pick one habit. Own it for 7 days. Let your body feel what consistency actually does. Because once your body starts expecting better, your standards rise with it. And if you are really doing that, comment 1 and write the one habit you're starting with.